Olivia Bennett woke up at 5:30 a.m., just like she did every Tuesday. Her small apartment was quiet except for the soft purring of her cat, Misty, who slept at the foot of her bed. The morning sunlight had not yet appeared through her curtains as she got ready for another day at Memorial General Hospital. At 28 years old, Olivia had been a nurse for 5 years. She loved her job more than anything. Each day brought new challenges, but also new chances to help people. That was why she became a nurse in the first place. Olivia showered quickly and pulled her long brown hair into a neat ponytail. She put on her blue scrubs, the ones with small pockets that held her pens, notepad, and the small bottle of hand sanitizer she always carried. A quick look in the mirror showed tired eyes, but she smiled anyway. Today would be a good day. She could feel it. "Be good, Misty," she said to her cat while filling the food bowl. Misty meowed softly and rubbed against Olivia's legs before starting to eat. Olivia grabbed her jacket and bag before heading out the door. Her apartment was on the 3rd floor of an old building, and the elevator was often broken. Today was no exception, so she took the stairs down to the lobby. Outside, the air felt cool and fresh. The city was just waking up. A few cars drove by and early workers hurried past with coffee cups in their hands. Olivia checked her watch, 6:45 a.m. She had plenty of time to catch the 7:15 bus that would take her to the hospital. On her way to the bus stop, Olivia stopped at the corner coffee shop. The small bell above the door jingled as she entered. "Good morning, Olivia." "The usual?" called Gary, the friendly barista who had been serving her coffee for the past 3 years. "Yes, please." "How are you today, Gary?" Olivia asked with a genuine smile. "Can't complain," Gary replied while preparing her drink. "My son got an A on his science project yesterday. We stayed up late last week putting it together." "That's wonderful. Tell him congratulations from me," Olivia said, handing over her money. Gary passed her the large cup of coffee with just a touch of vanilla, her favorite way to start the morning. Olivia reached the bus stop with 5 minutes to spare. She sipped her coffee and checked her phone. There was a text from her mother asking about weekend plans and a reminder about a doctor's appointment next week. Nothing urgent. The bus arrived right on time, and Olivia found a seat near the back. The ride to Memorial General Hospital took 15 minutes. She used this time to mentally prepare for her shift in the emergency room. The ER was always busy and unpredictable. Some days were calm, with only minor injuries to treat. Other days were non-stop action from the moment she arrived until the moment she left. When the bus stopped in front of the hospital, Olivia joined the stream of medical staff entering the large glass doors. She waved to Joe, the security guard, and made her way to the staff locker room. "Morning, Olivia," said Nurse Betty, an older woman who had been at Memorial General for over 30 years. Betty was putting away her purse and getting ready for her shift too. "Good morning, Betty. How was your day off?" Olivia asked while opening her locker. "Wonderful. Spent the whole day with my grandkids at the zoo. My feet are still sore." Betty laughed. Olivia put away her personal items and clipped her ID badge to her scrubs. She was ready for whatever the day might bring. The ER was relatively quiet when Olivia started her shift at 7:30 a.m. Dr. Samantha Kelly, the chief of emergency medicine and Olivia's mentor, was reviewing patient charts at the nurses' station. "Morning, Dr. Kelly," Olivia greeted her. "Olivia, good morning. We have 3 patients so far. Room 3 needs vitals checked. Room 5 is waiting for test results, and Room 7 just arrived. Possible broken wrist from a bicycle accident," Dr. Kelly explained, handing Olivia the charts. "I'm on it," Olivia replied, immediately heading to Room 3. The morning passed quickly. More patients arrived, a child with a high fever, an elderly man with chest pain that turned out to be indigestion, and a teenager who had fallen during basketball practice. Olivia moved efficiently between rooms, checking vitals, administering medications, and making sure each patient felt cared for and comfortable. By lunchtime, Olivia had only 10 minutes to eat the sandwich she had packed. She sat in the break room with fellow nurse Ryan Garcia, who worked in pediatrics. "Busy day?" Ryan asked between bites of his own lunch. "Medium busy," Olivia replied. No major emergencies yet, just the usual Tuesday mix. Same in pediatrics, Ryan said. Though we did have a 5-year-old who swallowed a marble. X-rays confirmed it's in his stomach. Parents are freaking out more than the kid. Olivia smiled. Kids are tougher than they look, and tougher than their parents sometimes. After lunch, the pace in the ER picked up. A small car accident brought in 3 patients at once, though thankfully none with serious injuries. Olivia worked alongside Dr. Kelly, moving quickly to assess each person and provide necessary care. Good work, Dr. Kelly told her after the patients were stabilized. Your instincts were spot on with that neck injury. Very subtle symptoms, but you caught it. Olivia felt a warm glow of pride at the compliment. Dr. Kelly didn't praise often, which made her words all the more valuable. The rest of the shift continued at a steady pace. Olivia checked on her patients, updated charts, and prepared those who were being discharged to go home with proper instructions. She also helped prepare a patient for transfer to the ICU, an older woman whose breathing problems had suddenly worsened. By 7 p.m., Olivia's 12-hour shift was ending. She was tired but satisfied with the day's work. She completed her final notes and handed over her patients to Jack, the night nurse who was taking over. Anything I should know? Jack asked as they walked through the current patient list. Room 10 is waiting for his wife to pick him up. Room 12 needs pain meds at 9 p.m., and room 14 might need another blanket. She mentioned being cold earlier, Olivia explained. After saying goodbye to her colleagues, Olivia changed out of her scrubs and back into her regular clothes. In the spring. Evening was pleasant, and she decided to walk home through Lakeside Park instead of taking the bus. The park was only a few blocks from the hospital and provided a nice shortcut to her apartment building. The park was beautiful at this time of day. The setting sun created long shadows across the grass, and the small lake in the center reflected the golden light. A few people jogged along the paths, while others walked their dogs or sat on benches enjoying the evening. Olivia followed her usual path past the central fountain. The sound of water splashing was peaceful after the beeping, monitors, and constant noise of the hospital. She took deep breaths of the fresh air, feeling the tension of the day start to leave her shoulders. As she rounded the fountain, Olivia noticed 2 men near the path ahead. Something about them caught her attention. They were standing close together, but their body language didn't seem friendly. One man wearing a dark jacket looked angry. His face was red and he was pointing at the other man, who had his hands up in a defensive position. Olivia slowed her steps. Most people would have changed direction or looked away, pretending not to notice the brewing confrontation. But as a nurse, Olivia was trained to move toward problems, not away from them. The man in the dark jacket, a tall guy with short hair who looked to be in his 30s, suddenly raised his voice. "You think you can just walk away from this?" he shouted. Several nearby park visitors looked over nervously, but no one approached. The other man, shorter, with glasses and a light blue shirt, was backing away slowly. "Please, let's talk about this reasonably," he said, his voice shaking slightly. Olivia's instincts told her something was very wrong. She should call for help, but before she could reach for her phone, she saw the man in the dark jacket reach inside his coat. Time seemed to slow down. Olivia saw the metallic glint of a gun being pulled out. She saw the look of terror on the other man's face. She saw a family with small children on a nearby bench directly in the potential line of fire. Without conscious thought, Olivia's body moved forward. Later, she wouldn't be able to explain exactly why she did what she did. Perhaps it was her years of training to protect others. Perhaps it was pure instinct. Whatever the reason, Olivia Bennett, who had spent her day caring for strangers in the hospital, was now running toward danger in the park. "Stop!" she shouted, but the man with the gun didn't seem to hear her. His arm was raising, finger moving, toward the trigger. 3 more steps and Olivia reached them, pushing the threatened man aside just as a loud crack split the evening air. She felt something hot and powerful hit her left shoulder, spinning her around. The impact knocked her off her feet, and suddenly she was looking up at the darkening sky. Strange, she thought distantly, how the pain didn't come right away. First, there was just surprise, then a spreading warmth, and finally, as voices shouted and footsteps pounded around her, the real pain arrived, sharp and breathtaking. "Someone call 911, a voice yelled. "The shooter is running away," called another. Then, a face appeared above her, the man with glasses and the blue shirt. His eyes were wide with shock and gratitude. "Why did you do that?" he asked, pressing his jacket against her bleeding shoulder. "You don't even know me." Olivia tried to smile through the growing pain. "It's what anyone would do," she whispered, though they both knew that wasn't true. As sirens wailed in the distance, Olivia Bennett closed her eyes briefly. The pain in Olivia's shoulder grew stronger with each passing second. She lay on the grass in Lakeside Park as people gathered around her. The man she had saved pressed his jacket against her wound, trying to stop the bleeding. "My name is Alan Freeman," he said, his voice shaking. "Please stay awake. Help is coming." Olivia tried to focus on his face instead of the pain. Her nurse training told her that she was going into shock. She needed to stay calm and conscious. "I'm Olivia," she managed to say. "I'm a nurse at Memorial General." "A nurse?" Alan looked surprised. "That explains why you knew exactly what to do. But why risk your life for me?" Olivia didn't have an answer that made sense. She had just reacted. Before she could try to explain, more people joined the circle around her. "I'm a doctor," said a woman kneeling beside Olivia. "Let me see." She gently moved Alan's hand and jacket to look at the wound. "The bullet hit your left shoulder. It missed your heart, but you're losing blood. Try to stay still." Sirens grew, louder, and soon paramedics pushed through the crowd. Olivia recognized them. Joe and Megan from the ambulance team that regularly brought patients to Memorial General. "Olivia?" Joe's eyes widened when he saw her. "What happened?" "She jumped in front of a bullet for me," Alan explained. "That man was going to shoot me and she pushed me aside." Joe and Megan worked quickly, checking Olivia's vital signs and preparing her for transport. They placed her on a stretcher and loaded her into the ambulance. To Olivia's surprise, Alan climbed in too. "I'm coming with you," he said firmly. "I can't leave you alone after what you did." The ride to the hospital was quick but painful. Every bump in the road sent waves of pain through Olivia's body. Megan gave her something for the pain, which helped a little. Olivia tried to stay professional, but it was strange being the patient instead of the caregiver. "We've called ahead," Joe told her. "Dr. Kelly is waiting for you." When the ambulance arrived at Memorial General, Olivia saw her colleagues rushing out to meet them. Dr. Samantha Kelly led the team, her face serious and focused. "Olivia?" she said, helping to unload the stretcher. "We've got you. You're going to be fine." Being wheeled through the same emergency room doors she had walked through, that morning felt surreal. Olivia saw the shock on her fellow nurses' faces as they recognized her. Betty covered her mouth with her hand. Ryan stopped writing in a chart and ran to help. "Get her to Trauma Room 1, Dr. Kelly ordered. I want x-rays immediately. And prep. An OR, she'll need surgery to remove the bullet." Everything moved quickly after that. Olivia's scrubs were cut away, IVs were inserted, and monitors were attached. She tried to stay calm, but the reality of her situation was sinking in. She had been shot. She could have died. "Blood pressure is dropping," someone said. "Let's move, now," Dr. Kelly responded. "We can't wait for all the results." As they prepared to take her to surgery, Olivia saw Alan standing in the hallway, still holding his bloody jacket. Their eyes met briefly before the doors closed between them. The operating room was bright and cold. Olivia had been in ORs many times, but never as the patient on the table. The anesthesiologist, Dr. Pat Miller, smiled down at her. "Count backward from 10 for me, Olivia," he said gently. 10, 9, 8. She didn't remember reaching 0. When Olivia woke up, the first thing she noticed was the steady beeping of the heart monitor. The second was the dull ache in her shoulder, partially masked by pain medication. She opened her eyes slowly, adjusting to the dim light of a private hospital room. "Welcome back," said a soft voice. Dr. Kelly sat in a chair beside the bed, looking tired but relieved. She had changed, out of her surgical scrubs into fresh ones, but her hair was still tucked under a surgical cap. "How bad?" Olivia asked, her throat dry. Dr. Kelly helped her take a small sip of water before answering. "The bullet tore through some muscle and nicked your scapula, your shoulder blade. We removed all the fragments and repaired the damage. You were lucky. It missed your major blood vessels and your lung by centimeters." Olivia nodded slightly, processing the information. "How long was I out?" "About 4 hours. It's just past midnight now. The man, Alan, is he okay?" Dr. Kelly smiled. "He's fine. Thanks to you. He refused to leave. He's in the waiting room with his wife now. The police are here too. They caught the shooter trying to leave the city." Olivia closed her eyes briefly, relieved. "Did they say why he wanted to hurt Alan?" "Something about a business deal gone wrong. The detective can explain more when you're ready to talk to him." A nurse came in to check Olivia's vitals and adjust her pain medication. It felt strange to be on the receiving end of care in her own hospital. "Everyone's talking about what you did," Dr. Kelly said after the nurse left. "It's all over the local news already. 'Heroic Nurse Takes Bullet for Stranger' is the headline on Channel 8. Olivia hadn't thought about that. She didn't consider herself a hero, she had just reacted. "Your parents called from Arizona," Dr. Kelly continued. "I told them you're stable. They're catching the first flight tomorrow morning." Olivia hadn't seen her parents in months. Her mom and dad would be worried sick. She thought about her empty apartment, where Misty was probably wondering why she hadn't come home. "My cat," she started to say. "Ryan volunteered to check on your cat. He has your spare key, remember? From when you went to that nursing conference last year." Olivia nodded, grateful. She was beginning to feel tired again. The pain medication was making her drowsy. "Get some rest," Dr. Kelly said, standing up. "I'll be back to check on you in the morning." Olivia slept fitfully, waking several times during the night. Nurses came in regularly to check her vital signs and adjust her medication. Each time she saw the surprise and concern on their faces. Their colleague was now their patient. Morning came with sunlight streaming through the window blinds. Olivia felt more alert but also more aware of the pain in her shoulder. She carefully tried to sit up a little, wincing at the movement. A knock at the door made her look up. A police detective entered, followed by Alan Freeman and a woman who must be his wife. "Ms. Bennett?" "I'm Detective Paul Martinez," the detective said. "If you're feeling up to it, I'd like to ask you a few questions about what happened in the park." "I can come back later," Alan offered quickly. "No, please stay," Olivia said. "I'd like to hear more about why this happened too." Detective Martinez pulled up a chair while Alan and his wife stood at the foot of the bed. The woman, Alan's wife, had red, puffy eyes like she had been crying. "First, let me say that what you did was extraordinary," the detective began. "The park security cameras caught the whole incident. There's no question about what happened." He explained that the shooter, Peter Doyle, had been arrested and charged with attempted murder. Peter had confessed that he meant to kill Alan over a business dispute. Alan had fired Peter from his small accounting firm after discovering that Peter had been stealing from clients. "Peter threatened me at the office last week," Alan explained, "but I never thought he would actually try to hurt me. If you hadn't been there..." His wife stepped forward. "My name is Diane Freeman," she said, her voice breaking. "We have 3 children at home. If Peter had succeeded, they would have lost their father. I would have lost my husband. How can we ever thank you enough?" Olivia felt uncomfortable with their gratitude. "Anyone would have done the same," she said quietly. "No," Detective Martinez shook his head. "Most people would have walked the other way or frozen in fear. What you did was exceptional." The detective asked Olivia to describe what she had seen and done. She told him everything she could remember, from noticing the argument to rushing forward when she saw the gun. "I didn't really think," she admitted. "I just reacted." After the detective left, promising to return if he needed more information, Alan and Diane stayed behind. "Our children made these for you," Diane said, placing 3 handmade cards on Olivia's Bedside table. They're 9, 7, and 5. They're calling you their hero. Alan stepped closer. I own a small accounting firm. It's not much, but I want to pay for all your medical expenses and lost wages while you recover. That's not necessary, Olivia protested. I have insurance through the hospital. Please, Alan insisted. It's the least I can do, and it still doesn't begin to repay what I owe you. Before Olivia could argue further, the door opened again. A nurse entered, followed by Dr. Kelly and a woman Olivia didn't recognize. The woman wore an expensive-looking suit and carried a small bouquet of flowers. Ms. Bennett, the woman said with a warm smile. My name is Catherine Winters. I'm the CEO of the Children's Hope Foundation. I was hoping I might have a few minutes of your time. Olivia looked questioningly at Dr. Kelly, who nodded. It's okay. Ms. Winters called earlier and asked to meet with you. I told her it would depend on how you were feeling. We'll come back later, Alan said, sensing that Olivia needed rest. He and Diane said goodbye, promising to visit again soon. As they left, Olivia couldn't help wondering why the CEO of a major foundation wanted to see her. She had heard of the Children's Hope Foundation, of course. They ran medical centers for children around the world. But what did they want with her? Catherine Winters placed the flowers on the table and sat in the chair beside Olivia's bed. You've had quite a day, Ms. Bennett, she said. And if I'm not mistaken, the next 24 hours are going to change your life even more. Olivia looked at Catherine Winters with curiosity. The woman was in her 50s with silver-streaked dark hair and kind eyes that seemed to notice everything. She wore a simple but clearly expensive navy blue suit, and a small gold pin on her lapel showed the Children's Hope Foundation logo. A child's hand held in an adult's. I apologize for coming at such a difficult time, Catherine said. But when I saw the news about what you did, I knew I had to speak with you right away. Dr. Kelly moved toward the door. I'll leave you two to talk, but Olivia needs rest. Please, keep it brief. After Dr. Kelly left, Catherine sat in the chair beside Olivia's bed. How are you feeling? She asked. Sore, Olivia admitted, and a little overwhelmed by all the attention. Catherine nodded understandingly. That's natural. What you did was extraordinary, even if it feels like you were just doing what came naturally to you. She explained that the Children's Hope Foundation ran medical centers for children in 28 countries. They provided care for kids who wouldn't otherwise have access to modern medicine. The foundation was funded by private donors and had been operating for over 30 years. But I didn't come here just to tell you about our foundation, Catherine continued. I came because we've been searching for someone special to lead our new international program, and I believe that person might be you. Olivia blinked in surprise. Me? But you don't even know me. Catherine smiled. Actually, I know quite a bit about you. After seeing the news last night, I had our team look into your background. I hope you don't mind, but everything we found is publicly available information. She took out a small tablet and touched the screen a few times. Olivia Bennett, 28 years old, graduated in the top 5% of your nursing class, 5 years at Memorial General with exceptional performance reviews. You've applied 3 times for overseas medical missions but withdrew each application at the last minute. Olivia was surprised at how much Catherine knew. I withdrew because there were patients here who needed me, she said quietly. It never seemed like the right time to leave. And that says a lot about your character, Catherine replied. What you may not realize is that we've been searching for months for the right person to lead our new pediatric outreach program. We need someone with medical expertise, compassion, leadership skills, and above all, someone who puts others first without hesitation. Your actions yesterday demonstrated all of those qualities in the most dramatic way possible. Olivia's head was spinning, partly from the pain medication and partly from the unexpected conversation. What exactly are you offering? Catherine leaned forward slightly. We want you to lead our new international medical outreach program. The position involves establishing pediatric care centers in regions with limited medical access, training, local healthcare workers, and overseeing a team of medical volunteers. She named a salary that made Olivia's eyes widen. It was more than triple what she currently made as a nurse. enough to pay off her student loans within a year. This isn't charity or a publicity stunt, Catherine added quickly. We've been vetting candidates for months. Your actions yesterday simply brought you to our attention, but it's your qualifications and character that make you perfect for this role. Olivia tried to process everything Catherine was saying. Just 24 hours ago, she had been a regular nurse walking home through the park. Now she was being offered a life-changing opportunity. I don't know what to say, Olivia admitted. This is all happening so fast. You don't need to decide right now, Catherine assured her. Take time to heal and think about it, but I wanted to present the opportunity as soon as possible. She left her business card on the bedside table next to the children's handmade cards. Call me when you're ready to talk more, she said, standing to leave. And get well soon, Ms. Bennett. The world needs more people like you. After Catherine left, Olivia closed her eyes, feeling exhausted. The events of the past day swirled in her mind until she drifted off to sleep. She woke to the sound of familiar voices. Opening her eyes, she saw her parents standing at the foot of her bed, talking quietly with Dr. Kelly. Her mother noticed first that she was awake. Olivia! Marie Bennett rushed to her daughter's side, carefully hugging her while avoiding the injured shoulder. We were so worried. Her father, Richard, followed with tears in his eyes. He wasn't usually emotional, but seeing his daughter in a hospital bed had clearly shaken him. You gave us quite a scare, sweetheart. Dr. Kelly updated them on Olivia's condition and left the family to have some privacy. Olivia's parents had flown in from Arizona as soon as they heard the news. It's all over the national news now, her mother said. Our brave daughter who took a bullet for a stranger. The neighbors keep calling to check on you. I'm not brave, Olivia protested. I just reacted. That's what brave people always say, her father replied with a gentle smile. True courage isn't thinking about being brave. It's doing what's right without thinking about yourself. They talked for a while about her recovery. The bullet had caused significant damage to her shoulder muscles. She would need physical therapy for several months. Dr. Kelly had told them. Olivia wouldn't be able to return to her regular nursing duties for at least 8 weeks. We want you to come stay with us while you recover, her mother said. You shouldn't be alone in your apartment. Before Olivia could respond, there was a knock at the door. A young woman with a press badge entered, followed by a man carrying a camera. Ms. Bennett, I'm Lydia Wong from the Chicago Tribune. Could we have a few minutes of your time? Richard Bennett stepped forward protectively. My daughter needs rest. This isn't a good time. It's okay, Dad, Olivia said. She was curious about what the reporter wanted, and a short interview might help her process what had happened. Lydia sat beside the bed while the photographer took a few pictures. She asked Olivia to describe what happened in the park and why she had risked her life for a stranger. I saw someone in danger and I just acted, Olivia explained simply. As a nurse, I'm trained to help people. But most nurses don't jump in front of bullets, Lydia pointed out. That goes far beyond professional duty. Olivia didn't know how to explain it. I guess I couldn't stand by and watch someone get hurt if I could do something to prevent it. The interview continued for about 15 minutes. Lydia asked about Olivia's background, her work at the hospital, and her future plans. Olivia didn't mention Catherine's offer. It was too new and she hadn't made any decisions yet. After the reporter left, Olivia's room became increasingly busy. More colleagues from the hospital stopped by to check on her. Flowers arrived from people she didn't even know. Her phone was filled with messages from friends and former classmates who had seen the news. By late afternoon, Olivia was exhausted from all the visitors. Dr. Kelly noticed and limited future visits to family only for the rest of the day. Your body needs rest to heal, she reminded Olivia, and your mind needs quiet to process everything that's happened. That evening, as her parents went to get dinner in the hospital cafeteria, Olivia found herself alone for the first time since the shooting. She looked around her room, now filled with flowers, cards, and gifts from strangers. On the small table beside her bed sat Catherine Winter's business card next to the children's handmade cards. Olivia picked up one of the cards. A child's drawing showed a stick figure with wings, apparently Olivia, protecting another stick. figure from what looked like a rain of red dots. "Thank you for saving my daddy," the wobbly handwriting read. It was signed, Emma Freeman, age 7. Tears filled Olivia's eyes as the reality of what had happened truly hit her. She could have died. Alan could have died. But they were both alive, and now Olivia had an unexpected opportunity to help even more people. Her phone buzzed with a text message. It was from Ryan, her colleague from pediatrics. "Misty is fine. Fed and happy. The whole hospital is talking about you. So proud to know you. Get well soon, hero." Olivia smiled at the message, but still didn't feel like a hero. She had just done what felt right in that moment. Now she had to figure out what felt right for her future. She picked up Catherine's business card and turned it over in her hand. The Children's Hope Foundation logo seemed to shine in the evening light. Working with children around the world had always been a dream of hers, but she had pushed it aside for practical reasons: her student loans, her commitment to Memorial General, her comfortable routine. Sometimes it takes a bullet to shake up your world, she thought. 24 hours ago, she was just a nurse doing her job. Now she was being called a hero, and doors were opening that she never imagined possible. As her parents returned to the room, Olivia tucked the business card under her pillow. She would think about Catherine's offer tomorrow. For now, she needed to focus on healing and coming to terms with how quickly life could change. "You look thoughtful," her mother said, sitting beside the bed. "I'm just realizing that sometimes the worst moments can lead to unexpected opportunities," Olivia replied. "And I think I might be ready for a change." 3 days passed in the hospital. Olivia's condition improved steadily, though the pain in her shoulder remained. Dr. Kelly reduced her pain medication, which helped Olivia think more clearly about the decision she needed to make. On the morning of the 4th day, Dr. Kelly came in with good news. "You can go home tomorrow if everything continues to look good," she said while checking Olivia's wound. "The infection risk has decreased and your vital signs are stable." "That's great," Olivia replied. She was tired of being in the hospital, even though the staff had treated her like family. She missed her own bed and her cat Misty. "Have you thought about Catherine Winter's offer?" Dr. Kelly asked. She had been surprised when Olivia told her about the Children's Hope Foundation opportunity. "I've been thinking about it a lot," Olivia admitted. "It's such a big change, moving to another country, leading a program. It's scary." Dr. Kelly sat on the edge of the bed. "Sometimes the scariest decisions are the most worthwhile ones. When I first became chief of emergency medicine, I was terrified. I didn't sleep for weeks. But it was the right choice for me." Olivia appreciated her mentor's advice. Dr. Kelly had always been honest with her. "What about my shoulder? Catherine said the job involves traveling to remote areas. I don't know if I'll recover enough to handle that kind of work." "The physical therapist believes you'll regain about 90% of your shoulder function," Dr. Kelly explained. "That's enough for normal activities. The first 3 months will be the hardest, but after that, you should be able to do almost everything you did before." Later that day, Alan and Diane Freeman visited again. This time, they brought their 3 children: Emma, the 7-year-old who had made the card with the stick figure angel, Ben, who was 9, and little Lucy, who was 5. The children were shy at first, peeking around their parents at the woman who had saved their father. "Thank you for the beautiful cards," Olivia said, smiling at the children. "They made me feel much better." Emma stepped forward. "Did it hurt a lot when the bad man shot you?" "Emma." Diane looked embarrassed. "We talked about not asking questions like that." "It's okay," Olivia assured her. "Yes, Emma, it did hurt. But the doctors here are very good at helping with pain." Ben, the oldest, looked at Olivia seriously. "My dad says you're a hero. Are you going to get a medal?" Olivia laughed. "I don't think so. I'm not that kind of hero." "You are to us," Alan said quietly. The family stayed for about 20 minutes. Before they left, Alan told Olivia that the police had formally charged Peter Doyle with attempted murder. He would likely go to prison for many years. "The detective said they found evidence that Peter had been planning to hurt me for weeks," Alan explained. He had been watching my routine, learning when I walked through the park after work. It wasn't a random act. He really wanted to kill me. The realization made Olivia shiver. If she had chosen a different route home that day or left the hospital a few minutes earlier or later, Alan might be dead now. After the Freemans left, Olivia's parents brought dinner from her favorite restaurant. As they ate together in her hospital room, Olivia decided it was time to tell them about Catherine's offer. "I've been contacted by the Children's Hope Foundation," she began. "They want me to lead their new international pediatric program." Her parents looked surprised but not shocked. They knew their daughter had always dreamed of working abroad. "Where would you be based?" her father asked. "The main office is in Geneva, Switzerland," Olivia explained. "But I would travel to different countries where they're setting up care centers, mostly in Africa, Asia, and South America." Her mother looked concerned. "Is that safe? Especially after what you've been through?" "The foundation has security protocols," Olivia said, "and most of the places they work aren't dangerous. They're just remote and lack medical resources." They talked about the opportunity through dinner. Her parents asked good questions about the salary, benefits, housing, and safety. Olivia could tell they were worried but trying to be supportive. "We just want you to be happy," her father said finally, "and we want you to be safe." "I know," Olivia replied. "I haven't made a decision yet, but this feels like something I need to consider seriously." That night, after her parents left for their hotel, Olivia lay awake thinking. The events of the past few days had shown her how quickly life could change, or end. She had always played it safe, staying at Memorial General even when opportunities to work overseas had appeared. Was it time to take a risk? She reached for her phone and pulled up Catherine Winter's contact information. After a moment of hesitation, she sent a text message. "This is Olivia Bennett. I'd like to talk more about the position when you have time." The response came almost immediately. "I'm so glad to hear from you. How about tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Olivia agreed to the meeting time and tried to sleep, but her mind was too active. She thought about what questions to ask Catherine, what concerns to raise, and whether she was really qualified to lead an international program. The next morning, Olivia woke early. A nurse helped her shower and change into regular clothes that her mother had brought from home. It felt good to be out of the hospital gown, even though buttoning her shirt was difficult with her injured shoulder. Dr. Kelly came in to check on her one last time before discharge. "Your final tests look good," she said. "Remember to keep the wound clean and dry, take your antibiotics on schedule, and start physical therapy next week." "Thank you for everything," Olivia said sincerely. "Not just for fixing my shoulder, but for being such a good mentor to me all these years." Dr. Kelly looked touched. "You're one of the best nurses I've ever worked with, Olivia. Whatever you decide about this new opportunity, I know you'll excel." At exactly 10 a.m., Catherine Winters arrived. She looked just as polished and professional as she had during their first meeting, but today her smile seemed warmer. "You're looking much better," Catherine said. "I'm glad to see your recovery is progressing well." They talked for nearly an hour. Catherine explained more details about the position, the responsibilities, challenges, training period, and support system. The foundation would provide 3 months of intensive training in Geneva before Olivia would begin traveling to program. "Sites, what about my injury?" Olivia asked. "I'll need physical therapy for months. I don't know if I'll be able to handle the physical demands right away." "We can work with that," Catherine assured her. "The training period in Geneva will give you time to continue your recovery. We have excellent medical facilities there, and we can adjust your schedule as needed." Olivia had many other questions. How would the local teams be structured? What was the foundation's approach to sustainable healthcare? How much decision-making authority would she have? Catherine answered each question thoroughly, impressing Olivia with the organization's thoughtful approach. "One more thing," Catherine said as their meeting was wrapping up. "The foundation would cover your remaining student loan debt as part of your compensation package. We believe healthcare workers shouldn't be burdened by education debt while they're helping others." Olivia was stunned. Her student loans had been a constant weight on her shoulders since graduation, The thought of being free from that debt was almost as appealing as the job itself. "This is a lot to consider," Olivia said honestly. "Can I have a few days to think about it?" "Of course," Catherine replied. "Take the time you need. But I should mention that we're hoping to start the next training cycle in 6 weeks. If you're interested, we would need your decision within the next 2 weeks." After Catherine left, a hospital administrator came in with discharge papers. Olivia's parents arrived to take her home. As they helped gather her things, her father noticed her thoughtful expression. "Big decisions?" he asked gently. Olivia nodded. "The biggest. The Children's Hope Foundation wants an answer in 2 weeks. If I say yes, I'd move to Switzerland in 6 weeks for training." Her mother squeezed her good hand. "Whatever you decide, we're behind you 100%. As they walked toward the hospital exit, Olivia was surprised to see a small crowd gathered in the lobby. News cameras, reporters, and hospital staff were waiting. Dr. Kelly stood at the front of the group. "We couldn't let our hero leave without a proper send-off," Dr. Kelly said with a smile. Olivia felt her face grow warm with embarrassment, but she was moved by the gesture. People applauded as she walked through the lobby. Some of her fellow nurses had tears in their eyes. Even patients and their families joined in the celebration. Outside, the spring sunshine felt wonderful on Olivia's face. As her father helped her into the car, she looked back at Memorial General Hospital. It had been her workplace and second home for 5 years. Would she be ready to leave it behind? In her parents' car, heading to her apartment, Olivia's mind raced with possibilities. 6 weeks wasn't much time to heal, pack up her life, find someone to take her apartment, and move to another continent. But something inside her felt ready for this change, ready to embrace a new challenge and purpose. "You know," her father said as they drove, "sometimes life's most important crossroads come when we least expect them." Olivia looked out the window at the familiar streets of Chicago. "And sometimes," she replied, "it takes a bullet to show you which path to take." 3 months later, Olivia stood at the entrance of a newly built medical clinic in rural Guatemala. The early morning sun was already warm on her face. Behind her, a team of doctors, nurses, and local healthcare workers prepared for the day. This was the first pediatric care center she had helped establish for the Children's Hope Foundation, and today was its official opening. Olivia touched her left shoulder gently. It still ached sometimes, especially in the morning, but the physical therapy had helped tremendously. She had about 80% of her normal range of motion back, and her doctor in Geneva said it would continue to improve. The past 3 months had been a whirlwind of change. After returning to her apartment from the hospital, Olivia had taken only 3 days to make her decision. She called Catherine Winters and accepted the position. The next 6 weeks were filled with preparations, finishing her medical treatment, packing up her apartment, finding a home for Misty with her friend Ryan, and saying goodbye to everyone at Memorial General. Dr. Kelly had organized a proper farewell party for her at the hospital. Many of her colleagues cried, but they all understood why she was taking this opportunity. Even Betty, the older nurse who rarely showed emotion, hugged Olivia tightly and whispered, "Go change the world, dear. That's what you were meant to do." The hardest goodbye had been with the Freeman family. Alan, Diane, and their children had become like family to Olivia during her recovery. The children made her promise to send pictures from all the countries she visited. Alan had established a scholarship fund in Olivia's name for nursing students interested in international healthcare work. It was his way of extending the impact of her brave action. Moving to Geneva had been both exciting and frightening. Olivia had never lived outside the United States before. The Children's Hope Foundation provided a small but comfortable apartment near their headquarters and paired her with a mentor, Dr. Luis Hernandez, who had been with the foundation for 15 years. "The biggest challenge in this work isn't medical," Dr. Hernandez told her during her first week of training. "It's cultural. You need to understand the communities you serve, respect their traditions, and work with them, not for them." Olivia learned quickly. The training was intense, covering everything from tropical diseases to emergency protocols to leadership skills. Her medical background gave her an advantage, but there was still so much to learn about international. Healthcare. Catherine Winters checked in regularly on her progress. "You're exceeding our expectations," she told Olivia after the first month. "Your ability to connect with people is exactly what we hoped for." Now, standing in front of the Guatemala clinic, Olivia felt a mixture of nervousness and pride. This was the first real test of her training. The clinic would serve a community of about 5,000 people, many of whom had never had access to proper medical care before. The local team included 2 doctors, 4 nurses, and several community health workers who would help bridge cultural gaps and provide education about preventive care. Olivia's thoughts were interrupted by the arrival of a small pickup truck carrying the mayor of the nearby town and several community leaders. It was time for the opening ceremony. The mayor, a short man with a kind face and gray hair, greeted Olivia warmly. "Thank you for bringing this gift to our community," he said through a translator. "Many children will be helped here." The ceremony was simple but meaningful. The mayor cut a ribbon across the clinic's entrance. A local priest blessed the building. Children from the town performed a traditional dance. Then it was Olivia's turn to speak. She had practiced her Spanish for weeks, but still spoke slowly and carefully. "This clinic belongs to your community," she told the gathered crowd. "We are here to work together for the health of your children. Today is just the beginning." After the ceremony, the clinic opened its doors for the first time. Families had already lined up, some walking for hours from distant villages to have their children seen by a doctor. Olivia worked alongside the local team, helping to organize the flow of patients and assist where needed. By midday, they had seen over 30 children. Most had minor issues, coughs, ear infections, skin rashes, but a few needed more serious attention. One little boy, about 4 years old, had signs of malnutrition and parasites. His mother looked worried as the doctor explained the treatment plan. Olivia knelt beside the child and smiled at him. "You're going to feel much better soon," she said in Spanish. She gave him a small stuffed bear, one of many donated by supporters of the foundation. The boy's face lit up with joy, and his mother looked relieved. During a brief lunch break, Olivia stepped outside for some fresh air. The view from the clinic was breathtaking. Green mountains rising in the distance, fields of crops in the valley below. She took a photo with her phone to share with the Freeman children as promised. As she was about to go back inside, a message notification appeared on her screen. It was an email from Alan Freeman. Olivia opened it and smiled as she read, "Dear Olivia, I hope this finds you well. We think about you often and follow the Foundation's updates to see your work. The Scholarship Fund has selected its first recipients, 3 nursing students who will graduate next year. They all want to work in underserved communities, inspired by your story. Emma lost another tooth and says the tooth fairy should visit you too because you're still healing. Ben started soccer and scored his first goal last week. Lucy drew a picture of you helping children around the world. I've attached it to this email. We miss you but are so proud of what you're doing. The world needs more people like you. With gratitude always, Alan and family." Attached was a colorful drawing showing a stick figure with wings, still Olivia apparently, surrounded by smaller stick figures of different colors. Above them all was a big yellow sun with a smiling face. Olivia felt tears in her eyes but brushed them away quickly. She hadn't expected to form such a deep connection with the family of a man she had saved on impulse. But that single moment in the park had created a bond that continued despite the distance between them. She wrote a quick reply thanking Alan for the update and telling him about the clinic opening. She promised to send more photos soon and asked him to give big hugs to the children from her. The afternoon at the clinic was just as busy as the morning. By the end of the day, they had seen over 70 children. The local team worked tirelessly, and Olivia was impressed by their dedication and skill. As the last family left, Dr. Maria Fuentes, the lead physician at the clinic, sat down beside Olivia. "You did well today," she said in English. "The children respond to you." "They respond to kindness," Olivia replied, "and to hope." That's something everyone understands, no matter what language they speak. Later that evening, Olivia sat on the small porch of the house where she would stay during her 2-week visit. The foundation had rented it from a local family. It was simple but comfortable, with running water and electricity, luxuries that many in the area didn't have. She opened her journal and wrote about the day's events. She had started keeping a journal after accepting the position with the foundation. It helped her process her experiences and track her personal growth. "Today we opened the first clinic I've helped establish," she wrote. "Seeing the children's faces as they received care, some for the first time in their lives, made every challenge worthwhile. My shoulder ached a bit during the long day, a reminder of how this journey began. Sometimes I still can't believe how much my life has changed in just 3 months, from a regular nurse in Chicago to leading international healthcare programs, all because of a split-second decision in a park." She paused, looking up at the stars that seemed impossibly bright in the rural sky. Then she continued writing. "The bullet that hit me that day could have ended my life. Instead, it opened a door to a new one. I think about that moment often. Seeing the gun, moving without thinking, feeling the impact. I didn't know then that saving Alan would lead to saving so many others. The foundation says we'll establish 3 more clinics this year. That means thousands of children will receive care they wouldn't have had otherwise." Olivia closed her journal and looked out at the silhouettes of mountains against the night sky. Tomorrow would bring another busy day at the clinic. There would be challenges, of course. Medical supplies to manage, staff to coordinate, cultural differences to navigate. But for the first time in her life, Olivia felt she was exactly where she was meant to be. The young nurse who had risked her life by taking a bullet for a stranger had found her true purpose. Her life had indeed been changed forever, not by the bullet that struck her, but by the courage that had put her in its path.